Well, once again, welcome back to Winding Hills Golf Course on a beautiful, beautiful sunny morning. I always love it when I'm hitting a shot with the sun at my back. It's just a very beautiful sight down the range of the shot. What I want to talk about today is the concept of desire. Last video, number 4, we talked about mindset and how we have to set our mind properly. One of the things that can interfere with that is to tap into what I call the power of desire. So this is an ongoing series, remember, called Living Golf, Power Lessons from the Heart of the Game. So we're not talking about the physiology as much an acceptance of heartfelt shot making and playing the game of golf. That's what playing golf is really all about. So we're going to set up on the right side of this tee. We're playing this hole, which has, right now, it's a little bit over the knoll, so you can't really see exactly where the pin is. That's referred to as a blind shot. So it requires a tremendous amount of trust. So many times trying to, as I've said in some of the other videos, making the ball go somewhere can really interfere with the power that we get out of a golf swing, because we become manipulative. So in this video, I'm going to try to help you understand how to deal with the blind shot, that's one of the things we want to cover, and how to line up properly and choose where you are within the tee block. Some of that is by feel, by heartfelt feel. On this particular shot, hitting down to the green, I feel better on the right side of the tee blocks. I'm not exactly sure why, it's just a feeling. You got to go with that intuitive, instinctive feeling of what it's going to be like to feel the ball through the shot, down and landing on the green softly. I don't have a clear idea how long the distance is, but I've chosen it based on past experience. Nothing can replace experience. You have to have experience hitting different shots. So we'll take a look from back here, just get a last minute assessment, an idea of what things look like. And I want to see the field. I want to see the area down there, not the pinpoint of the flag, so that I'm not focused on a specific target. I'm more focused on an area. That's much easier to feel. So when you're feeling an area you're hitting to rather than a single point, it's much easier to come into a congruent, coherent alignment, mind, body, and spirit of acceptance. So we'll square up the club, make a couple of practice swings, just nice, gentle. Remember, your practice swing should always be nice and gentle. All you're doing is feeling the club head. Come back here, double check for alignment, and I'm feeling very ready to go. What ready to go means is you have to be in the moment. You have to be here before you let it go there. So take your time with it. Don't rush it. I square my club, set my feet, set my posture. I'm ready to go. Looks like I've got a pretty good shot on the way. Land a little soft. I should be somewhere around the flag. Going down, I want to just demonstrate another shot before we work on that putt on the uphill, the severe uphill pitch shot. So I could have easily pulled that ball to the left if my mindset wasn't correct and I was trying to make something happen. So let's get down and see what we can find out. Now, I was fortunate enough to have my first tee shot land on the green. It's about 10 feet away. I'll be demonstrating in a moment how desire works into wanting to make that birdie putt. But many times on this hole, it's real easy to pull the ball slightly left because our desire is to try to get it close. Because we have not as good a perspective because it's slightly blind shot, we have to feel that distance. But we tend to get over anxious because of our desire periodically, and we'll try to lean on the ball a little bit, and many times that causes the shoulders and the hips to turn out prematurely. When that happens, we're going to pull the ball to the left. Now, it's not so bad if you come off the green a little bit, as long as you know how to get what we call up and down. Up with your pitch shot, in the hole with your next putt. On the Pro Tour, many of the pros who win golf tournaments only hit 60 to 70% of the greens. The reason they win the golf tournament is because of their short game. The short game is so critically important, and it requires the heaviest load of desire because we have to practice it a lot. So we have to have the desire to practice, but then we have the trust to execute. So I'm going to try to demonstrate this and see if I can bring that point across. It's so important. Now I have a situation here where the green is above me. Because the green is above my feet, if I hit a low lofted club, it's going to go across the green. So I've chosen my sand wedge for this shot, and it's the same shot as if you were on level green. Press, back, brush. The technique is exactly the same. So you can trust that, but the ball is going to fly a little higher, and when it hits the green, then hopefully it'll trickle down to the hole. Let's give it a go and see what we can come up with. So again, as I'll continue to remind you, you always set your club square to the line that you want it to go on. You set your feet, and then you set your posture. Then you trust. In your brain, you say press, back, brush. You think about brushing the ball, brushing the grass, not hitting the ball. If you think too much about hitting the ball, you're going to scull the ball across the green. Because we're lower, below the green, our tendency is to want to lift the ball off the ground with our arms and hands. You've got to resist that. The club's got to go square through. So we'll set up. I'll put myself into a mindset of trust and acceptance, and then I will allow something very beautiful to happen. Press, back, brush. The ball now will trickle down to the hole very gently, and depending on how your feel is from experience of practice, you can get it closer and closer. I'm going to hit one more ball here because I want to show you how you can use the experience of that to achieve at a higher level. So it's the same concept we're going to go through. When you're first learning tricky shots, I want you to get a very good lie. If you're playing with ball down or normal tournament rules, you would not be able to move the ball. But while you're learning, I want you to fix the lie so the lie doesn't become the determining factor of your failure or success. Then you can focus on the process. So again, I square the club, set up, and trust it. Press, back, brush. And from the experience of the first one, I got a little bit closer. One more I think would be worthwhile hitting here, so it'll show you clearly how experience is the answer to consistency and success. Press, back, brush. Didn't come out exactly the way I wanted, but the idea is to allow yourself in your practice rounds to experience multiple shots. As long as you're not holding anybody up, use the time to practice. We'll go on to the putt that I hit that was the result of my tee shot and see how desire works into the putting stroke. Okay, my tee shot came up about 10 feet long. It looks pretty good. It has a little bit of break, but I'm not exactly sure how much break. A technique that I sometimes use is plumb bobbing. Now I'm going to leave the flag in. Normally, if you're playing by rules, you need to take the flag out. Otherwise, you can be penalized if you hit the flag once you're on the green. Off the green, when you're pitching, the flag can stay in. And if the ball hits the flag, that's perfectly okay. But when you're on the green, it must be removed. If you have a caddy, the caddy must remove the flag before your putt finishes its distance. He has to move that flag out and step away. What I'm going to do is use a technique here to get a sense of the tip of the green called plumb bobbing. The plumb bobbing is going to help me set my mind, which in turn will allow me to develop a desire that overcomes the desire to make a birdie. If my brain shifts over to my main desire, making a birdie, I can easily lose the feeling and the continuity and coherence of a good putting stroke. I can start to slap the ball or even decelerate. So I want to put my mindset where the desire can kick in properly. We must have desire, willful desire, but it has to match with the clarity of intent. So we're going to couple those up as we go forward in this video series to help you understand how this brain works for and against us in our playing of the game. So I'm going to plumb bob. I'm not going to explain this, but if you go on my website, there's a video on the website explaining in detail how plumb bobbing works. But fundamentally, I'm trying to sense the tip of the green. It's tipping off of its axis perpendicular to the Earth's polar gravity. So the ball is going to break left to right, but I'm not sure exactly how much. Plumb bobbing will give you a perfect read as long as your acceleration is proper. So to plumb bob, I'm holding the putter up, I'm putting the ball, I'm closing my left eye, I'm putting the ball sitting on the shaft of the club, and then I look out to the hole. I notice that the hole is 6 inches to the right of that. So my line is 6 inches to the right. And again, there's a video on the website, if you search it out, on exactly how to do this. Once I feel comfortable with that, then as I'm walking up, I'm going to set my club, before I set my feet, in a line. I'm looking at the leading edge of the club, perpendicular to where I want the ball to roll to. Then I'm taking my stance, setting my posture, and then I'm letting it go. Again, I'll always say tick, tock. Okay, didn't quite play enough break. It was a surprising amount of break on that. So my experience there would tell me on this green it tips much more than I thought. So on this next one, I'm going to usually step back and reread the plumb bob. In holding it up the second time, I realized that I didn't have the putter sitting absolutely perpendicular, and now I see that the break is more like about 2 feet. So I'll set up, come up to the hole, the ball, set up. I'm aiming more to the left now, and I go through my mantra, tick, tock. And very nicely, I just missed, but that was a really good putt. I think I might be able to make it. Let me try one more as we wrap up this video for today. So remember, we're talking about the power of desire. It can work for you and against you. Let's see if I can get a little more feel, my intuitive, heartfelt feel for the flow of the putter. And a little short. So what we will do, again, when you're out on the course, it's extremely important to gain this experience over and over and over. So I got a par, no problem. But this putt you got to be careful of because you're going for birdie. You could easily run it way by trying to make the putt. That's where your desire overcomes your intentions. We'll see you next time for the next lesson in Power Lessons from the Heart of the Game.